Oh, you didn't. Oh, you clipped it. Okay.
I clipped it.
You
Clipped
took
it
it
out.
off.
Clipped it out.
Good.
Chopped it out.
Yeah.
You know,
Good.
YouTube does have their standards.
They do.
Ingvar.
You can only put 15 minutes on YouTube, by the way, if you don't have a channel. So I don't have a channel, so I could only.
Maria, you don't know the story. I'll have to tell you later.
Okay. Hey, Bob, did you watch either one of the games today?
Hey, Bob.
Yeah, I watched I got home from work. It was in the 49er game in the third quarter.
And that was when that's when they made their first touchdown. We were watching the Raider game. The Raiders were up 20 points.
Wait, the Raiders lost?
At the start of the third quarter.
The Raiders lost.
And lost.
Unbelievable.
In the last 5 seconds of the game.
Yeah, I mean, all right. And this is from a guy that's had Seahawk season tickets for 11 years.
Right.
If the Seahawks go 1-16, I'm not going to be shocked.
I was like, what happened to them?
But Arizona is an overrated team. That's
right.
That's
they
like
got
a big
Kyler
dog.
Murray though. Kyler Murray is really awesome.
Oh man, they got
the
running his
49ers, however, forgive me for this, they got way better today. Way better.
The 49ers, yeah, that was good to watch.
That team doesn't need Superman to lead them. They just need a guy not to turn the ball over, move the ball.
Right.
That defense is good. I mean, they're a good club. So the Raiders lost. Are you kidding me?
The Raiders got their asses.
It was pathetic. It was just pathetic.
Okay, more pathetic than Miami winning that game.
I didn't even.
Yes.
I know they won, but I have no idea how it
Miami
happened.
came back from the dead.
Yeah, Miami's going to be good.
In Tua, they trust.
Guess so.
But they played the Ravens, didn't they?
They played the Ravens. They did. Yeah.
And did they beat the Ravens?
They did.
The Ravens were way ahead. Or at least, I mean, that's what I saw. I mean, so I have a serious account. So I was listening to the 49er game at work on the radio. Greg Papa calls their games, huh?
Yeah, he's
with
the 49ers. Used to be the Raiders.
So he was the Raiders guy for a while, right?
He was the Raiders guy for a long time.
And wait, is that the Papa that was a Warrior announcer as well?
I think so.
He's like Bill King, with Raiders, Raiders, 49ers, Warriors. He's good.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys who can recall knowledge and great stories and, relate them to what's going on in the moment and everything. He's really good.
Yeah. And because I've heard a Raider game on the radio since he wasn't, and it was Brett Musburger. I'm like, what?
Yeah, Brett Musburger. He's like 80 something. He's 82 or something.
Yeah, they must have went for some splashy thing. The Raiders can. I'm sorry. I know you love them.
I can't even defend it.
I don't love them today.
I
can't say that I'm loving them right now.
You suck today.
They sucked. They couldn't get out of their own way.
Yeah, there's absolutely no excuse that could be made for this game today.
Oh, it's the Raiders. There's an excuse.
Yes. It's like, break that pattern somewhere along the way.
All right, the difference between these guys now, I guess probably across the board, was Cliff Branch, first touchdown pass he ever caught for the Raiders. He goes in the end zone and he's kind of showboating around and he spikes the ball, and a couple of veterans, I think it was Upshaw, went over there and it's like, just act like you've done this before. You don't have to do that. Okay. And there's so much bravado and I mean, they're football players. I mean, what do you expect, right? I mean,
but here's the thing: they're not Kenny Stabler. They're not the Raiders of the 70s and 80s.
I know the nostalgia glasses are easy to wear.
Right. You're not the same quality of players that made them great.
Oh, now you're making me sad.
It's so funny. I had one of those moments. I don't usually get starstruck very, very easily. Yeah. But 15 years ago or so, my friend Jeanette, she's a writer, and she was doing this story. She was doing some writing for this guy named Bob Brown, who kind of ran the Coliseum use the High Mucky Mud Coliseum and Oakland Arena over there. And so she was getting, because she was doing this thing, he would call her and say, hey, you know, I got tickets for blah, blah, blah. You want to go? And like we go to Raider games and be like, you know, 4 rows from the front.
Right.
Went to a couple of Raider games. And then we had one in one of the suites, right? With just me and her and maybe one other person. And Al Davis, God bless him, he did used to do this thing that was cool if you're in one of the suites. It was like me, her, and another guy. And they would have old Raiders come by and hang with you for a minute. So I'm in the suite.
All right.
And then Cliff Branch comes in and sits and
Wow.
hangs with us. And I'm like, I'm talking to Cliff Branch, take a few pictures with him and stuff.
That's cool.
I was kind of starstruck, man. Yeah, it was cool. You know?
Okay, I
And
got
so-
one better. Hold on.
Wait,
Uh-oh.
so when I was logging in, who are you guys talking about? It was somebody of some kind of notoriety that was a jerk. Who was that?
Ingvar was quoting history.
Oh.
I think they were talking about Reggie Jackson. Wasn't Maria
There you
talking
go.
about
What,
Reggie Jackson?
beginning? Okay.
I just
What we got there?
Cliff Branch.
Ah,
yeah.
yeah, when he died, that really hurt, you know.
Oh,
That
yeah.
Actually,
killed-
you know what? He signed this maybe 2 or 3 months before he passed away.
Wow.
So
I will tell you, when sports guys die or something like that, you know, it
Yeah.
usually doesn't sit with me where it puts a tear in my eye. There's only been a couple for certain reasons. One was Catfish Hunter
Yeah.
when he died.
He
That one
died
put
young.
tears in my eyes. Yeah. And Ray Fosse.
Oh yeah.
Another one because I got
Yeah.
to meet him because I did some business with him and he would give me free tickets. I only used it a couple of times, and he's just as cool and as a real guy as you'll ever meet. So the day he died, and me having to, you know, I deal with a cancer too. It really, it got me, you know, really got me. So,
oh, it's cool when it gets real though, you know? Makes it
oh yeah,
it makes it worth, you know. So okay, I had a job. I was a receiving clerk in the 80s at
Yeah.
The Long's Drugs in El Cerrito at the plaza. And there's this,
oh,
all right, and there was this so we're talking like the mid to late 80s.
Yeah.
And there's a donut shop that was right over by, was it Safeway or Albertsons or whatever was right there, or Lucky's. Maybe it was a Lucky's.
Lucky's.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but there was this little a donut shop there, and I just go in there once in a while and get a donut and some coffee. And I noticed like there's these old timer guys who are just sitting there all the time, and they were like there every single day. So you know, I was enough. I knew him a little bit. I'm like, hey, how you doing, guy? You know, how you doing,
Yeah.
kid? You know, what's going on? Once in a while, this guy would sit down with him. Reginald
Yeah.
Martinez Jackson. Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah,
So he had just retired. So
yeah.
I would go by these guys and I would
That'd be
say,
88.
hey, you know, how you
That
guys
was
doing?
like 88. That was like
Yeah.
88.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was about like that. And so I would be like 28 years old, 27 or 28. So so I was walking out with my stuff and I looked over and I kind of took and I put my hand on the guy's shoulder. I'm like, hey, and Reggie like looks up at me and goes like, hey, talking to my buddies here right now. I'm like, dude,
My bad.
fuck off,
Right.
Reggie. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
I say hi to these guys all the time. What's your problem, buddy? Absolute jerk. And I've known some other people that have encountered him. Total. I mean, the guy's got an ego.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I
imagine
saw
so.
it. I saw it firsthand. I was just like, God, what an asshole, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, of course, I'm like
Yeah.
27, 20 out. I'm kick your ass. You know, I'm like, you know, you want to go? Let's
So
go.
you want to get your
know?
ass whooped here in El Cerrito Plaza? This is
But-
our street.
Yeah.
But he was, I think he was juicing then though too, right at the end of his career, because
Yeah. So that was like, yeah, that was
he was
like
pretty
88.
jacked and everything. But
Are you talking about Reggie Jackson?
Yeah.
yeah,
Really?
I
he
just
would sit
said the
down
guy
with
was
this
an
guy.
asshole.
He
You're,
would
you're,
sit
you're
down.
in El
I wish I
Cerrito
could
Plaza.
remember that.
So you're in El Cerrito Plaza. You're probably like, look, dude, I'll kick your ass and go have an orange Julius.
Yeah, the donut
That
shop
was
was like
real
right
fast.
next to that one.
That was real Plaza humor for you guys.
And you know why, Bobby?
Or Julius.
Because he had a
Whoa,
dealership in Berkeley.
Oh, is
He had
that
a
right?
car dealership.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Reggie Jackson Chevrolet.
Yep.
Whatever.
Whatever.
You know? Yeah.
Oh,
Doesn't
man.
sound like
But
you're a
I couldn't
fan.
believe it, you know, and I'm like, dude, I mean, what's your deal?
Right. Right.
You know, I mean,
His deal is that he's big. He thinks he's bigger than what he really is.
he had more strikeouts than hits,
He
and he
has a
went
lot
to
of
the Hall of
clips.
Fame. All right,
A
so
lot of
off me.
famous clips.
Right.
Off me. All right, you were sabermetric before. You know, that was Mark Chapman back in the day, right there, man. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, clutch, great ball player and stuff. It just
He's got some iconic moments, definitely.
Willie Mays is 91 fucking years old.
I hope he
He
lives
is
forever.
still alive.
Yeah.
My God.
Are you talking about Ivan? If he when he passes, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
That's been that was the first ball game I ever went to. My uncle took me, and I remember him saying, like, it was in 1967, so I would have been 6 years old, and he's just like, "You see that guy right there? That's Willie Mays. He's the greatest Giant to ever put on the uniform."
Yeah,
And I'm like,
I imagine so.
okay, you know, and so I knew who Willie Mays was, and they were actually playing the Pirates, so I saw Clemente, and then he said, and that guy right there might be even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My uncle Tony, though, he was a big Giant fan, huge, still is, but even bigger, you know, just baseball fan. Just
Well,
like,
Willie Mays would be the home run leader. Would be the all-time home run guy. The 2 years in the
Let's
service.
make it even closer. What about Willie McGee?
Oh, yeah. Willie's still
You know.
the sweetest guy on earth. He is just the
Nicest,
nicest
most
guy.
humblest person you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
running
So-
out of time.
is that, you guys know that story about the Dodgers coming to see him at Seawright Field?
Oh no.
You guys don't know?
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, so Dodgers come out there. He's a senior, so he graduated in 76, right?
Yeah, he was a
36 or
couple years.
77.
All right, so he's a junior. I mean, he's a senior. So
Right.
so they have him do some working out. They're like, do this, do that. You know, throw the ball here, slap the ball here, and they're timing him running. It was the Dodgers that were looking at him, and have him run up the first base line. So he's like, man, yeah, he's pretty fast. Dennis Abel is telling me this.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah?
believe this to be true. All right. So the guy for the Dodgers is like, hey, who's your second fastest guy? And they go, Dave Campbell. Bring him over here. So here comes this like flowing hair, you know, no doubt, right? You know, Dave, you know, probably had to jump out of his Impala or something like that, right? He comes up there, slaps a ball to like right field, runs up the first base line. He's faster than Willie. And the Dodgers were just like,
We'll sign him.
okay, so here's a card.
We're gonna get
back
knocked
to you.
off, but we can just reconnect after.
That was it.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
here's
yeah.
the reason he got traded to the Cardinals, Ivan, is Jackson didn't like him because he
Wow.
was drafted by the Yankees, and the Yankees saw him as the next, you know, big thing.